Good Saturday morning, and welcome to another exciting edition of Outdoors with Larry Ray on 790 The Bet. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray. We talk outdoors every Saturday morning as we roll into our 25th year on the air. And we got the man sitting right next to me.
Can you believe it? 25 years.
He was there when it started. So you do verify that it did start, right?
Yes, it did start.
Yeah.
We down the dungeon on Union Avenue.
Yeah, Channel 5.
It was a good studio.
It was a nice studio.
Our producer then was Elvis.
Well, we had several. We've got a good one now. Shelby McCall taking care of us. But that is Gene Smith, our pun master, and he was there when we started. Good to have Gene in. And over there in the corner right now is the webmaster chief himself, Guy Trebo. Good morning,
Good Saturday morning, Larry.
Good Saturday morning, and we're going to talk to Guy in just a minute about what's going on the website. We're waiting on two more guests. Andy Tweed, the short timer with the TWRA.
Yes, he is.
He's waiting on David Beal because we've got an announcement as soon as David gets here. Of course, David may be kicking indoors, I don't know, for the Shelby County Deputy Sheriffs. I don't know, but he'll be in, and fun show today, as we do every week. Going to kick it off in segment number 2 with Keith Hickman, our good buddy from Paris Landing State Golf Course. He's won all the Alderman Awards. You're familiar with Alderman. So, he's won all the awards up at Alderman for that amazing golf course. Well, he's also a great turkey hunter, and we're going to talk to Keith about the St. Jude Youth Hunting for a Cure turkey hunt, and I think that's just a great event that to have them part of the team and everything like that.
Didn't we used to do that? What was that? Grand Junction? Where we used to go?
No, we went over to Savannah and things like that, but no.
Yeah, it was Savannah. Yeah,
it was Savannah.
Yeah.
All right, and then of course we're going to talk to a young man from Paris, Tennessee, who just won $150,000. With a last cast, 6 seconds left.
Isn't that something?
It is amazing. That's Jake Lawrence. We're going to talk to Jake.
That's a great story.
Yes, a great story.
Man,
we have great stories on Outdoors with Larry Ray just about every week. I try to get one. And then we're going to talk a new segment we started last month, our D&D fishing segment with David Beal and David Best. And then June 7th, fishing rodeos are back.
All right.
Not like we used to have them in the old days, but anyway, we're going to talk to the man himself who's been part of fishing rodeos for a long time. They call him the grandfather for Glen Springs Lake, former director of the TWRA, and right here in our area, Bobby Wilson, because on June the 7th, the Bill Dance Youth Fishing Rodeo will be held at Herb Parsons Lake. And then close out the show with one of my favorite events up at the Discovery Park of America. That is the 12th annual cardboard boat race.
Yeah, that is a lot of fun.
That's a lot of fun. And for some of us, we're starting early, Saturday morning in Brownsville from 6 to 7:30 on 1520 AM and 95.3 FM. In Jackson, 6:30 to 8 on News Talk 101.5. And right here in Memphis, a little bit later, 9 to 10:30. Will somebody go out? I think that David Beal is in front, and I think that Andy is in the back.
He's in the back.
So we got two guys going both ways, and they're both wearing uniforms, okay?
Right. Yeah, the good thing about Herb Parsons, we used to take the kids out there because they always caught some kind of fish.
Well, and here they come. Oh, we don't recognize one of them.
He's incognito.
He's in disguise. He's in disguise.
He's not armed right now.
Hey, David Beal, but he's got his fishing shirt on, though.
That's right.
All right, David. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
Andy, thanks for coming in.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Short timer Tweed.
That's it.
You know, but going to have a fun show, and we're going to do it right now. We're going to put David Beal on the spot right now.
Put
All
me on the
right.
spot. I'm ready.
Nobody can
We'll just lay
replace.
down so we can all hear it.
Oh,
No, you can have that. No one can replace Ron Wong. David
No, you're
Beal.
right.
oh my God, man.
That
That's
guy,
But we would like for David Beal to fill out with us on the second Saturday of each month with fishing.
sweet.
And
I can do that.
we're going to work David in maybe with David Best some, but he'll be in studio if his regular job, and we'll talk about that later. But I think that David will do a great job. Ron is irreplaceable. And
no doubt.
In fact, we on next week's show, we will announce 2 big honors for Ron.
Sweet. From
B&M Polls and also the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. They announced it at his celebration of life. It wasn't a funeral. But I think that David Beal, the hillbilly, the Bassin man, is that person we need, personality and thing, David. So
appreciate that, man.
We put you on the spot. You've accepted already.
I'm honored.
Okay.
I'm honored.
All right. Well, we appreciate that. But we're going to have a lot of fun on today's show. And, Guy, what's going on the website? Do we have the Jake Lawrence story up yet, or are we going to get that up?
That'll be up later today.
All right.
We went from having the Bassmaster Classic champion get up off the hospital bed after having a brain tumor.
That's right.
Oh, boy, yeah.
To this story about him, like you said, with 6 seconds to go in the competition.
Yeah.
So I guess if you hook a fish, if you hook it before the bell
He's got to
goes
get
off,
in the boat, though.
It's got to be in the boat.
It's got to be in the boat, and
That's
he and
right.
Jacob Wheeler were having some kind of tournament at Lake Nickajack up near Chattanooga here recently, and I can't wait to talk to Jake Lawrence. What a young man who has had a great success, but to win $150,000 on one cast.
Doggy, yeah.
Jesus.
That is unbelievable. So we're going to talk to Jake out of Paris, Tennessee.
That's right.
And then, as I said, we're going to hook up what we call our D&D fishing segment with David Beal and David Best of S.Y. Wilson. And then Bobby Wilson is going to tell us about a fishing rodeo that's got Bill Dance's name on it. That does not mean he's eligible. Okay, we're going to have to check his birth certificate for a youth fishing rodeo on June 7th. And if I'm not mistaken, and we'll let Guy check this for us, I think that's Free Fishing Day. But it is.
Yeah.
How about Andy?
Yeah.
All right. So that's going to be at Herb Parsons Lake, one of Bill Dance's signature lakes. And if you haven't been to Herb Parsons lately, Andy, it's been transpiring. What do we call it here?
I was out there just the other day getting a patrol boat.
Yeah.
And man, it is gorgeous out there.
Yeah.
The heavy equipment crew has done a lot of improvements, and
Yeah.
Damon and Sam,
Yeah.
the guys that work out there, the manager.
Oh,
the
yeah.
division,
Yeah.
They've been busting their tails getting that place straightened up. The storms that we had a couple of years ago absolutely wrecked Herb
They did.
Parsons.
Yes, they did.
And
yeah.
so it is looking good. They've been doing the shocking. They're beautiful fish. You would not believe the fish they're shocking up.
Well, we're going to let Bobby Wilson. Of course, we knew Bobby from his days here as fisheries. He had that mudhead or something like that license plate. I'll have to ask Bobby about that. But went on to be director of the TWRA. But now he is. In fact, they call this Bobby Wilson Free Fishing Day, if I'm not mistaken.
They do.
And Bobby will be joining us later in the show to talk about it and maybe give us an update. But that's at the Herb Parsons on June the 7th. And then, what you got, Guy?
I just wanted to bring it up.
Yes.
We like for people to send us pictures.
Yes, we do.
So I want to see your fish
Yes.
or whatever it is you kill. Turkey, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
long as it's something you can kill.
Yeah, we would
legally.
love to post your photographs. You can go to LarryRay.com, REA.com, and you can email us at lroutdoors@att.net. We'd love to have those pictures.
We got David Beal with a big bass.
Yeah, well, we
But
have.
that one's getting old, and then we got one.
That's
that,
right.
Yeah.
One that Ron.
Yeah, that's the
called
same
a
one Ron
monster.
caught every week.
It was a.
It was a monster.
He
but
always
We have a lot of Ron Wong. We could do a whole little
Yeah.
section of Ron's.
So I've processed 1 million photos from Ron.
Well, let's do
So
that.
I need everybody to send those pictures in because everybody likes to see them. So
And I'll put our website, LarryRay.com, up with anyone, thanks to the guy Trebo over there. And we post as much. We got all the states, game, Arkansas Game and Fish, Mississippi, Tennessee. We got all those posted in. We got fishing reports. We got all the information, Steve McAdams, fishing reports, and all those like that. You can get the information. And I'll tell you what, Guy gets them really quickly up. So if you got some pictures, we'll take that. We even got we're trying to get Charlie Covenant's latest poem, but I don't know. He's coughing his head off right now, and I don't think he can get it out. He's coughing too much, but we do have our own, what we call our own, Poet laureate is Charlie Covenant, because we got the pun master. He brought his book, too.
Yeah.
You got a book? You got a poem? You got something for me?
Well, you know, it is
what?
a poem to Pope.
Yes, and now watch it now. There's a few folks out listening today. You know.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
I heard they going.
What now? Are you sure you want to do this, or you want to skip on to the next one? Huh? I don't want to get us taken off in the first 5 minutes of the show. Yeah. Huh?
Well, you know how the Eskimos make.
That's a lot safer. Eskimos are a lot safer than the Pope. Okay. All right.
Eskimos make their house. They use igloo.
They use igloo.
Yeah.
Igloo. Okay. Yeah, that's safe. That's pretty safe right there with the igloo. Thank you. It's dangerous when Gene brings his. What is that? What's the title of that book? Dad jokes. What does it say now? Terribly good dad jokes. Okay. I don't know about that. Yeah. Oh, now don't give it to David. Now he'll be thinking about those as we go throughout the show. But anyway, all right. Now we got to quickly say now, Mr. Tweed, the short timer that you are.
Yes, sir.
We're into May now.
Yes, we're in May.
Are we in your last month?
We are.
We are in his last month.
All right.
Yep, I'm winding it down. I've got about 18 or 20 days left.
That is something. A lot more time with Hutch.
You got it.
Yeah,
You
a
got
lot
it.
more time with that boy, and he can actually go to some fishing rodeos and not work. But he'll probably show up and do it anyway. But well, we're going to utilize Andy. He doesn't know it yet, but we are.
That's right.
Good.
Because of his expertise on wildlife things going on around here. All right, let's take our first break of the morning. Get your phones on silent. That's me too. And we'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this May the 10th. Man, only 13 more days in my birthday. I mean, how about that? I mean, May the 12th. I'm getting all what is it today? What is today, Saturday? The 10th. Okay, 13 more days of my birthday. Don't forget that, okay? And how many more got Trebo for you? 29th? That will be 19 days. 19. All right. He's not going to catch me, y'all, unless there's something drastic happens that I don't know about. But hope it doesn't. All right, we're going to switch gears. Turkey season is still going on in Tennessee. If it feels like it's been going in 2 months, well, it hadn't been, okay? We're still going on with turkey hunting, and we got the man on right now that he shares a love, two of my loves. One of them, of course, is turkey hunting, even at my age, and the other one is golf, and he knows that. And one of these days, when I make my first hole-in-one, I'm quitting right there. You know, I'm just going to walk off the course because it ain't going to happen. I know that. But, you know, Keith Hickman, before we get into this, you know, I'm the last 2 weeks of golf. Now, Keith is the head pro, won a lot of awards at Paris Landing State Park. Beautiful golf course. He won all them Audubon awards for the beauty. And it's one of them. If you haven't been up there, shame on you. But 2 weeks ago, I shot 101. Last week, I shot 102. And this past week, Mr. Hickman, I shot 86.
All right.
Wow.
And I birdied the first.
Wow, that's awesome.
Birdied the first hole on the par 5. I was about to quit. But golf is like one of those games. You just keep hitting it.
You play against yourself.
No, I play against everybody.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
everybody gets out of the way when I play.
Okay.
But
Now, is this just a 3-hole course?
no, it's not a 3-hole course. No, it's not.
I always have trouble with the windmill.
That's okay. Let's get back to the real subject. Keith, of course, loves to turkey hunt. He and his wife have been involved in turkey hunting. I guess Keith is. How long have you been at the golf course there? About 50 years?
Working on this, when I finish this year, it'll be 39 years here.
Are you serious? 39 years. Golly. That's pretty impressive. But you do have a pretty nice place, Keith. Now, you have to admit that.
I do. I've been very lucky.
And to be at that place, but this thing with turkey hunting, me and Keith go back a long ways. I think probably I might have met Keith with a youth turkey hunt that I was involved in at the offset over in Savannah area and things along that line. It was raising money for a good cause, and Keith has been involved in that same event for over 2 decades. And other than COVID, kind of knocked it out a bit, but Keith was involved again this year. Keith, tell us what happened back early on that youth hunt.
Well, again, in Savannah, we have the St. Jude Hunt every year. Started in 2005, Larry, and, of course, we missed a few years because of COVID.
Yeah.
But last year we got it going again, and this year we had 35 kids.
Wow.
They killed 17 birds. Of course, a lot of them were their first birds, and those kids come in, and they were just ecstatic. I mean, ecstatic. But the main goal is to raise money for these sick kids at St. Jude.
Yeah.
And that event this year raised $80,400.
Wow, that's
great.
And,
that is great, Keith.
and to date, the best I can tell to date, since inception in 2005, $1.8 million.
$1.8 million, almost $2 million.
Yep.
And what makes this such a we weren't allowed to use the word unique when I wrote for the paper. I don't know why, because nobody was very unique that worked with me. But I guess I don't know. But this is such a unique event. Explain the format here, because it's pretty cool what you guys do, right? Tell us how it works.
Well, the main thing is the community and how it comes together for a common goal of these kids. But landowners donate their money. Not their money. They do donate money.
Yeah.
But they donate their land to let these kids come in for the youth hunt. And we have around 40 kids every year. This year was 35. But the kids pay a minimum of $200 to hunt.
Sure.
And for that, they get a farm to hunt on, and then they're guided. Of course, a guardian goes with us, mom, dad, whatever, and they go with us to the field. And then on Saturday night, there's a huge auction that raises thousands of dollars.
Yes.
People donate stuff to the auction, and then all that accumulates on Sunday when we award the check to St. Jude. So,
and these
pretty
guys,
neat idea.
Yeah.
The first year we had it in 2005, we raised $3,500. We had 10 kids.
I remember. Yes, I remember, because I was part of it. I know that.
I was there also.
Yeah, I think Gene Smith was there too. We made the trip back and forth with Dwayne from Sportsman's Warehouse back in those days. But and the cool bit, get this, folks, these guides. Talk about the guides, Keith, because that's pretty special for them. They donate their time.
They come from everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
Where
we
you
had Pennsylvania, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, just all over for St. Jude. They do it all for St. Jude and these kids.
And they've been doing it. A lot of these have been a lot of times. They put it on their calendar. They want to be here for that youth weekend. And the way the thing works, 17 birds killed. And like I said, I guarantee you there was some first-timers in there, wasn't there, Keith? I mean,
maybe all of them. They could have been all of them.
Yeah.
Several first-timers.
So you've been doing it. You and your wife have been involved in this. What makes it kick for you, Keith Hickman?
Well, St. Jude, number one, but taking kids that don't really have a chance to go sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have an opportunity wherever they live for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But they do know that, for $200 or more, they can come and have a 2-day hunt on land that we know that's got birds. It's fully guided. And, just the whole event. It's like a big family reunion to us now.
Yeah.
There's several of us. The kids that I've been involved with for several years are from New York.
New York.
And I've still got people that they're coming. They're coming every year from New York to support this event in some form or fashion.
Well, and I realize that this is not an easy place to get to. I mean, you're getting over to Savannah area and Hardin County and across the river and all these different kind of things. And you got to make sure these kids and families get taken care of. There's food involved. There's all these things involved, folks, that makes this such a important thing. And how does it work with you take the check to St. Jude? How does that work? Yeah.
They have a representative that comes and we award a check to them on Sunday.
Wow. Okay. That's I just wanted to touch base with Keith on that, and because one of the things, I was a director forever. I may still be on, I don't know, but I'm not there personally, but I'm there in spirit, Keith, and you know that.
Didn't we have entertainment there too? Also?
Yeah, we used to have entertainment. I think that's why we left. Okay. I don't know. No, but it wasn't. All right, talk about the turkey season, man. Then we'll talk about the golf. But let's talk about the turkey. What are you hearing? What's been going on?
Well, I mean, the turkey season I think's been okay. I think we're down a few birds, a couple of thousand maybe, or a little more. The commission meeting last week or week before.
Yeah.
They set the dates and the same for next year.
Yes. Yeah.
I know there was a big push by a lot of people to move it at least up 1 week, but that failed for whatever reason. But I think it's just been an okay season, not an outstanding season, but
had a lot of rain.
It's been okay.
Had a lot of rain. I don't know how it's done to your golf course. Have you had you got some rain up there, hadn't you?
Yeah, the rain. That first week of April, it rained 11 inches up here.
Yeah, so. And you've had some this week too. I mean, this is Saturday. You had some on Thursday, I think. Back in there with some thunderstorm watches and things along that line. But I know the season goes till May 25th, folks. We still got time. It's just amazing to me. That's a late date. And we had Roger Shields on the show last week, Keith, and you know him. He's the turkey program coordinator. Yeah, turkey program coordinator for the TWRA, and he explained about being down numbers and things along that line. And I told him, well, can we get some of those turkeys we sent to the other part of the state and send them back here, right? I mean, we can only do so much good, for turkeys, but. The Poult situation, we've had the floods on the Mississippi River again and everything. All right, We can't let you go without talking about your golf course.
Well, other than the rain, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It was a little bit late coming out. Probably a lot of Bermuda grass courses were this year, but we're in pretty good shape. If you haven't been here a while, we got a beautiful hotel that opened a couple of years ago under rave reviews.
Yeah.
It's right on the Kentucky Lake. Every room faces the lake. View of the lake. If you haven't seen it, you need to come. And when you're up here, play around the golf or get on the lake and go fishing. It's just a great area up here.
Well, I'm assuming you had some catfish eating folks up there last weekend or so.
Yeah, big world's largest fish fry. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, they even got Gary Mason in the car. It was the Grand Marshal.
Grand Marshal.
I understand he's still riding around. I mean, I don't know.
He may be. I hope he sprays the top of it, though he'd probably get wet.
Yeah, he'd probably get wet. But anyway, so your course now, so tell us how old it is, what it is. Give them a little description for your course.
Well, it opened in 72 a couple of years ago. Was our 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
Every hole's tree lined. A lot of the holes skirt the lake. Our signature hole, number 4, it's about a 100-foot drop. Kentucky Lake.
Yeah, it is. That's it. Number 4. That's it.
It's one of the most photographed holes in the state, if not the country. So
people come there.
You got to come see us.
Yeah,
come see us.
Keith Hickman,
hit it straight before you get up here, though.
No, I hit them straight. I'm straight down 50 yards. No, hit them straight. But all right, they can go to the website. Give them that website about the course.
Go into TennesseeGolfTrail.net and look us up, or Tennessee State Parks will get you on there too.
That's right. Spend the weekend up in Northwest Tennessee. There's lots of stuff going on up there, right, Keith? All right, buddy.
It is.
All right. Tell everybody hello for him. We'll talk to you, Keith. All right, man?
All right. Tell Bobby Hall I said hi.
I will. I saw him Tuesday, and, he beat me by 3 shots. Of course, he's 6 months younger than me. Okay, so thank you, Keith. All right. Bye.
All right. See y'all.
All right,
bye-bye.
Keith Hickman, he is the golf course manager for Tennessee Golf Trails at Paris Landing State Park. And how about that $1.8 million raised by kids turkey hunting?
That's beautiful.
Fantastic.
Man.
Isn't that something? Yeah. You just don't know what you can do if you put your mind to it. And that's one of it. All right, let's take a break, come right back, and we're going to talk here. Get ready, Dave. I want some questions from Jake Lawrence. He's only $150,000.
I know that's right.
We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. Now, I did not realize I had back-to-back Paris on here, and some of them say, I didn't even talk to anybody in Paris Texas, Arkansas? No, Tennessee. We're back-to-back Paris, Tennessee. Keith Hickman, golf course manager, Paris Landing State Park, and now the biggest celebrity right now who has more cousins than he ever knew he had now. After a recent performance, is Jake Lawrence. Good Saturday morning, Jake.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for having me.
Let's talk about it. Let's move out of the way because Jake, we'll set the stage, okay? 83 pounds, 2 ounces on Nickajack Lake in the final championship round to win the Major League Fishing's Bass Pro Tour Stage 4 in the final seconds.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Again, going into the championship round there the night prior, I fantasized, I envisioned winning that event.
Yeah.
Never in my wildest dreams, and I mean that in the literal sense, did I ever dream it up to happen that way. So super special, regardless of kind of the buzzer beater and all of that. But for all of that to take place there against Wheeler on kind of his home lake, it made it all that much more special. And
he's mentioned Jacob Wheeler because you talk about a 1-2 punch down to the very end, and the way things work in this, every second's important when it comes.
You're absolutely right.
When it comes to the circuit that you fish in, which adds the pressure and everything mounts. And so we're going into this thing. They're going back and forth. Jacob Wheeler got ahead with 45 seconds left before lines out. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, so what I was doing was I had located a shallow, ultra shallow hole in the eelgrass. So eelgrass is a submergent vegetation that grows very thick, almost like a carpet on the bottom. Very, very few holes or hard edges, things for these bass to relate to, and something that we can look out there and see and know this is a high percentage area. And I'm very, very fortunate. Put myself in the right place at the right time and found this, what quickly became the winning area. But I had already, coming back to the last minute or two of the event there when all this kind of unfolded, I had really leaned pretty hard on that little group of fish that was utilizing that hole. And I knew, so I had the lead going into the final 10 minutes there. Knew Jacob was going to most likely catch another one, and we were neck and neck of just a couple ounces apart. And so I knew that I had to do something. I had at this point, again, kind of worn my welcome out there in that little hole, but I didn't really have anything close enough to me to make a run and kind of seize that moment. And so I repositioned on this particular hole in the eelgrass and got on the opposite side of it, made a few extra casts, and still had not had a bite. And I'll never forget for the rest of my life, I had 1 minute, maybe 45 seconds there left, and I knew this was going to be the last cast. I had a choice of throwing back in that hole where I had been fishing, or turning around and literally throwing out in the middle of an eelgrass flat where I'm sure there are some bass living, but what are the odds with one cast that you're going to throw across one? And lo and behold, with about 30 seconds left, we got that bite, and was very fortunate to get it in the boat just in the nick of time. And we made it all come to fruition. And, again, it's a dream. It's something that I have sought after for a very, very long time, and for all of that to take place and to happen the way that it did was just, again, it was something that I still, a few days later, in several interviews later, I have not found the words to truly portray the emotions that I had there, both good and bad.
Yeah, I know you were very emotional because that's something, buddy. I mean, it's almost like completing a perfect game. You got one more pitch. You got to make that right pitch. You get it out at the same time. And then when it happens, there's no way this is going to happen. But you believed in yourself, Jake. I think
you're right. You're right. And I never doubted myself. But, again, there are hundreds and hundreds of casts that we make during a particular competition day that's unproductive, that doesn't result in catching a bass. And I still had the utmost confidence in myself and my abilities, but it is so hard not to start thinking, okay, we had a great event. This was good for points.
Yeah.
We made us a little money, but boy, we came up just a little bit short. And at that moment, she bid it, and all of it kind of, we made history there, so to speak.
And you beat the guy that's won more money than anything. Not gonna hurt
Absolutely.
Jacob. I know that's him. He's on his home lake and everything like that. I've read some of the congratulation notices on Facebook that people have sent you. And Jacob, that's got to make you really feel good. I mean,
it does. To give myself, or for someone rather, to give myself a compliment about my fishing abilities.
Yeah.
Certainly hold that in high regards, but you'll never know how much that truly means to me.
Yeah.
For someone to compliment me,
Yeah.
For me as a person and how I hold myself, and that is what I take to the bank, so to speak, more than anything else, and hold in such high regard. Many of these guys and ladies as well are people that I have looked up to for my entire life, and here they are complimenting me, and so it's very, very special, and something that I'll never ever forget. I certainly cherish that way more than my fishing abilities or anything else that we have there.
Again, we're talking to Jake Lawrence of Paris, Tennessee. And get this, folks. He and Jacob Wheeler both caught 27 bass. He had 83.2. Jacob had 77.15. But there's about $95,000 difference in that one cat.
I know that's right.
and that adds a lot. So what's it been like for Jake Lawrence at home? They know you up there in Paris. That's a great place to grow up, and you've grown up there and everything. Talk about what's happened since the tournament.
So oddly enough, I had plenty of interviews, some media things to take care of.
Yeah.
Didn't finish all of that up until about 8:30.
Oh my God.
We hopped in the truck and drove straight to Pickwick Lake. We got here.
Yep, that's
just
what's going
about
on.
midnight and started practice for the MLF Invitational.
Yes.
That actually starts tomorrow.
Yes.
Here on Pickwick Lake. So I have unfortunately not had a chance to get back to Paris and kind of show off the trophies and enjoy that with everyone there. But I cannot wait Sunday afternoon to get back and
that
and
just
shows
a lot, because folks, he's a busy man. He's working this interview in, and we really appreciate you, Jake, doing this, and Charity and all the great folks at Major League Fishing for setting this up, because fishing is Jake's life, and I've kind of kept up. The only sad part of this, Jake, that we can't watch it until October.
That's right. That's right.
I looked at that and I said, I got to sit around till October the 18th and 11th, folks, on the Discovery Channel. Put it on your DVD or whatever, you tape it ahead of time, but you get to see it. But I've seen snippets and all like that. But 66 of the world's top anglers. You went to Redcrest. You've experienced Redcrest. So now all this is happening. How old are you, Jake?
I am 33. I will be 34 here in a few weeks.
What's your birthday?
May 28th.
Whoa, all right, mine's May 23rd. I thought you were a May man. Okay, yeah.
Yes, sir.
My webmaster's over sitting. He's the 29th. Anybody else? No, that's just the best.
I got shoes older than that.
You got shoes older than that. I know that, Gene Smith. Thank you. But, look, we didn't want to. I can't tell you how much this means to my listening audience out there, Jake. We've been doing this almost 25 years, and you were 8 years old when we started. So we can imagine what this means to you, but you handle it really well. Folks, go to LarryRay.com. We got all that posted with what Jake did, because you got to go by, with the Bubba scale. What is it? Don't they have like Bubba or something? There's something Bubba in there.
Yes, sir. So that is the manufacturer of the scale that we use. It's an excellent scale.
Yeah.
Spot on. I tell you, we have a minimum weight limit for each event. And at Chickamauga Nickajack, it was a 2-pound minimum.
Yes.
And when that Bubba scale says 115, you can try it 100 times, and it's never going to give you 2 pounds.
The last one was 5 pounds 9 ounces, right?
It was, yes, sir.
And you needed all of that just about to get it. So this has been a memory maker, Jake. And I know the folks up there in Paris and all throughout West End, you got fans everywhere, and I know a lot of folks are listening right now. My audience has probably doubled from 5 to 10, but I don't know. We do it in Brownsville, we do it in Jackson, we're all over the West Tennessee, but a lot of fans, buddy, and we want to congratulate you. Go get them this weekend at Pickwick, and we got your number now. We'll stay in touch, okay, man?
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for having me today.
All right, Jake. Have a great one, buddy. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Thank you.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Jake Lawrence. All right, David Beal got 2 minutes. You just heard that young man.
Yes.
Is there any enthusiasm in his voice? Could you tell that?
It is. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was, you got the old cliche saying, what's for you is for you.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of this bass fishing come down to actually really making critical decisions too.
And he had to make that decision.
Absolutely.
He talked about
and
that.
I don't want the audience to get confused that was you for you. That's really cliche, but
yeah.
I'm telling you right now, you making some decisions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And he had less than a minute to make that decision.
Absolutely.
He hooked the fish at 45 seconds. He got it in the boat at 26 seconds. I don't know. Something like that. And that's it's just one of the crazy things. And anyway, all right, let's take another break. We're going to talk some more fishing. Here it comes. You don't mind talking to David Guest, do you?
Oh, no,
Let's work each other out here. We'll be right back on what we call the D&D segment. David and David on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we talk outdoors every Saturday morning for what we call the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming. And we do have the man that's been here from the start. He and Ronnie Shannon were here, and I think I bought breakfast every Saturday.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I
That's
just
the only
left
reason
it.
Ronnie showed up.
I left a trail of sausage out in the parking lot. But how about a pun now?
Well, you know that word you said you don't hardly use anymore?
What's that?
Unique.
Unique, yeah.
That's how you catch a rabbit. You unique up on them.
Unique up on them.
Oh, Lord.
As you can hear, our guest is comment in the background. I don't know if he knew that was coming across, but it's always good to get
Some
a
of 'em you have to
spontaneous.
explain.
Well, no, you don't have to explain that
Okay.
one. We'll get back to the Pope later on.
All right.
That's the one we got to explain. But anyway, hey, David Best, how you doing, buddy? All right.
Doing good.
The building's still standing. The SYS building built in Roman Gecko time, huh?
1910.
1910. And all right. Well, we've announced earlier in the show that David Beal will be a regular here on the second Saturday of each month, and I think this segment, which we call the D&D fishing segment with David Beal and David Best, will be a part of that if we can work out the travel arrangement. And David's not kicking indoors, and you're not in a kayak someplace in Texas. So we'll try to do that. Let's talk fishing, you two guys. Talk to each other. I want to find out what's going on. All right, David Beal.
Man, what's up, Dave?
Hey, Dave, how are you?
I'm good, man. I actually been catching them lately on, of course, square bill crankbaits, man. Of course, I'm hunting them oxbows right now, because we got a lot of tournaments coming up on these river oxbows and everything. And I've been catching them on square bills, and I also been catching them on buzz baits already. And I'm talking about good big girls, man. Yep. What you think about that, Dave?
I will believe that entirely. We are seeing some of that ourselves on this side of the world. A lot of my guys are beginning to tell me they're catching them on the top water, some throwing a little popper kind of bait, these post-spawn fish. They're beginning to feed on those brim and that kind of thing, and it just makes a lot of sense.
So let me ask you a question: Is those is the water still up in the bushes at Pickwick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So because you got Jake just got through talking about.
That's where the tournament is this weekend at Pickwick. Yeah.
Yeah. So they should be doing a lot of flipping. There should be some fish caught flipping up there. What you think?
I think you'll see them caught all three ways, quite honestly. As far as you'll see a lot of post spawners, you'll see some guys flipping, you'll see some guys out even catching some fish on ledges at Pickwick this weekend. So,
well, you need to watch out if you're planning a weekend at Pickwick this weekend. There's going to be a few bass boats up there.
Oh,
just a few.
Just a few. I don't know how many kayaks will be up there, but they'll be in the coves.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be there next weekend because the 17th is the Tennessee Bass Nation.
Come on, I'm leading you guys on. Y'all got to work together. I'm trying to stay out of this. I want to get arguments going here, and everything.
Well, I'm gonna be in a bass boat.
Let's find. He's done. Open the gate here now.
I'm gonna be in the kayak one day, Dave.
One day.
Just listen to me what I'm saying. I'm gonna be in the kayak one day.
So what's this deal next weekend, though? I wanted him. How many kayaks are going to have up there?
My guess is they'll have somewhere between 60 and 90.
Okay, all right.
They'll be spread out from dam to dam. So
okay, so the waters are all over. I mean, you can fish wherever you want to.
Pretty much.
Wow. Okay.
So wait a minute. So what it does? So the way it works is so the anglers get the lunch at either ramp, or how do you put that program together?
Yeah, so they'll be able to launch at any eligible boat ramp, which would be pretty much any public ramp. You just can't launch at a private location.
Are we still registering for this? I mean.
Oh yeah, they register for those on Attorney X. You still have to be a member of Bassmaster. You still have to do. Right. It's kind of like any kind of Bassmaster affiliated program.
But you'll have some really good kayak bass fishermen in this thing, right? I mean.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you'll have some of the best in the nation will be there next week.
Okay, and they going for a prize? I mean, they're not just getting a meal at the state park. I mean,
there'll be like 2 or 3 different clubs putting on the tournament, and so if somebody could piggyback in all 3 and win all 3, they're probably going to get close to $6 or $7 grand.
Okay, so where do you get information on this event next weekend? You got it out there?
Attorney X, if somebody contacts me, I can help them get to it.
Attorney X. So that's next weekend. The big boat guys are out there this weekend. So I'm wondering now. We've had all this rain. I'm going to step out again. I want y'all to talk. I mean, I want to know what the rain has done to the oxbows you were talking about, the small lakes, Glen Springs, Herb Parsons, and places like that. You guys talk about those.
I think the rain again is going to be really, really great for the fishing. Matter of fact, not just for
really. Why?
Oh yeah, absolutely, because it put fresh water in, and it gives the fish new areas to spawn and to navigate. You know what I'm saying? That anglers can't get to, and I think Dave made a valuable point the last time we had D&D.
Yeah,
and that was the anglers cannot put pressure on those fish constantly throughout the spring during the spawn time, and it makes for another 2 or 3 years of really, really good fishing for the future anglers. And I think that's very important.
How about that, David? Yes,
I absolutely agree. That's one of the beauties of high water, these little river lakes, that they get that benefit. That's why your river lakes typically are never bad, and that's why, because the fish can always get away. It's not like somewhere where they're pretty much hemmed up within the banks.
Yeah.
Sardis, they get some high water at times, and that's why you have those sporadic, really good seasons and bad seasons. Pickwick, those fish never are going to get away from the bass fishermen hardly. It never gets high enough really to get away.
Well,
so
I think
pretty consistent.
I think that we mentioned Andy Tweed is here. From the TWRA standpoint, Andy, this is prime time, I think, for the state lakes too, right, Andy? I mean,
it is. Like we've been talking about. We're in the post spawn now, so everything is once again gorging themselves and getting ready to, the fish are. We're within about 3 weeks of the fish starting to stage and be out in the middle of the lakes,
We're pretty close to Free Fishing Day. We were talking about that on June the 7th.
That's right.
And I think you guys made an interesting point the last time. A couple of people asked me about that when I was at Ron Wong's Celebration of Life. Fishing was a lot of talk at Ron's celebration. Excuse me. You mentioned pond fishing.
Yes.
Bank fishing.
Yes.
I don't want to rule out buying a kayak or something like that. Right. David Best quit on me right in the middle of the show.
But, he ain't going to hang up on you. But
but I mean, this is a good time for kids or whatever it might be to break in.
Yes. I think, I really don't want anglers to lose that thing that they first began when they first began fishing. I think
that's where they start.
Yes, that's where it started. Like everybody wanted a mud hole.
Yeah.
And a mud hole was basically out in the country where the cows play in the water, go out and drink. And it was actually good fishing in those ponds. And I don't want that to be, X'd out. Keep that in mind. Yeah. Pond fishing is really, really good throughout the year. especially in the spring.
And we've got the water, right, David Best? I mean, we have water in these ponds, I would expect now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
absolutely. They're all real good right now.
All right, let's lead up because you guys will be back next month, and it'll be after Free Fishing Day, I think. You want to get somebody started. Mother's Day. Get Mother a day. Here we go. Gifts, right, David Best?
I got lots of options for Mother's Day. It's a great time to come out and do some shopping. We've got a full staff here. We're going to be busy all day today, so come out and see us from 10 to 6.
And if you want to get started in fishing, what's the basics over there, David Beal?
I think you just get a child, a 202 or a 33.
There you go.
And I'm going to say you get the most fish catching this bait in the world, and every angler know this, is a plastic worm.
Yes.
And that's just it. You can catch fish on a plastic worm anywhere in the country in the USA.
And they don't mind touching them.
Oh, I mean, just wiggly. Kids love them plastic worms. It's wiggly.
Yeah.
I know I did.
I like the real worms myself. You know, they didn't taste very good, but they were really good, you know. Try to keep them up there. Well, we appreciate you guys. Thank you, David Best. We will talk to you down the road, and particularly we'll get them results from the big tournament in a couple of weeks. Okay, David?
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. All right.
Alrighty.
All right, David Best, and we've joined in now with a regular segment. We're calling it D&D Fishing Segment with David Beal and David Best, and folks are going to ask me now a little bit about yourself. We only got a couple of minutes.
Oh, sure.
You're from
North Memphis.
North Memphis, okay. Went to high school.
Kingsbury High School.
Falcon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a Falcon.
You're a Falcon.
I played fullback. So,
okay.
Yeah,
right.
I'm still a little fat boy, you know.
Coach Newt wasn't there, was he?
Nah.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I'm still a little fat boy.
Okay. No, you're not.
Yeah.
So you grew up in North Memphis, but your uncle you told me about was, did you have an uncle or somebody?
Yes. I had the uncles, those guys from Greenwood, Mississippi.
Yeah, that's
I didn't get the opportunity to grow up there, but, I grew up here in Greenwood.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I grew up here in Greenwood,
so
they actually gave us what they had, growing up down there, which was nothing pretty much. Granddaddy was a sharecropper or whatnot. And they brought that here, and they gave us those trades, fishing and hunting. We ran from Andy a lot. him and Ronnie Shandy.
You don't have to run anymore. You don't have to run anymore.
I met Mr. Bill when he was you were in about what, 5th or 6th grade?
Yeah, I was like 5th or 6th grade.
I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
So now, tell him what your real job is then.
My real job is I kick indoors for a living, man. I'm on warrants, and I'm actually about done with that, man. I got 23 years with that. And I really don't want to do that anymore.
I can understand.
I'm trying to go fishing and take some kids fishing now.
We want you to do that.
Yep. Yeah, that's
we're
what I'm
going to
do.
utilize David Beal, the hillbilly bassing guy. How about another pun? We got 2 minutes left, Gene Smith.
Are you talking about fish? What do you call a bunch of killer whales doing a musical?
What do you call a bunch of killer whales doing a musical?
It's an orchestra.
Orchestra. Where else, folks, can you get that on the radio? I'm telling you, this is a one of a kind here. I mean, we're very versatile here. We got a man kicking the door. No, we don't have a man kicking the doors, but we do have a short timer over there. And a lot of this, you can go to LarryRay.com. That'll take care of it. Let's take a next break. Shelby McCall's taking care of us, and we're going to talk to the man himself. He started right here, if I'm not mistaken, Andy. Mr. Wilson was our fisheries guy right here.
Yep, he was our assistant fisheries when I got hired on. Then he became the chief fisheries guy in West Tennessee.
Yeah.
And then he got promoted to the assistant chief of fisheries and then chief of fisheries in Nashville.
And then director.
And then director.
Well, he and I got to walk the ground at Glen Springs Lake before it was ever had any water in it.
Believe it or not, when I was in college, I used to quail hunt down in there in that creek with that creek bottom.
My dad drove down all the way across that little bridge, with the creek.
All right, let's take a break, come back and get Bobby Wilson on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. Boy, we having fun this morning. Fun. and we're even talking about fishing, which makes it fun when it comes down to it. And I hope you've enjoyed these last segments as we've talked fishing in two of them, and a little turkey in the early one. Now we're going to switch gears now, and when I mention this guy's name, I know a lot of you remember him from his early days with the TWRA, and then remember his career with the TWRA, and now he's getting a little involved with some things, and they've named a day after him. And they're not going to name a day after me until I'm 6 feet under, I think. And they may name a week after me. I don't know, but that's my good friend Bobby Wilson. Good morning, Bobby.
Good morning, Larry.
Good to have you. Of course, Bobby was a fisheries chief, TWRA. He was also the director for the TWRA, but cut his teeth here. He and I one of my highlights of my career is that I got to walk the floor of Glen Springs Lake before any water was put in it, and I walked with Mr. Bobby Wilson at that time. So one of those things. I think he even calls himself the grandfather of Glen Springs Lake. I don't know, but
no, I think you called me that. Larry.
I did. Well, I called you a lot of things, but
yeah.
But I got an email from Bobby recently, and really perked my interest on June the 7th. Is that a special day, isn't it, Bobby? Isn't that a special day?
It's Free Fishing Day.
Yeah, but it's named after somebody, isn't it? I mean,
I don't know.
You don't know? It's named after you. Come on now. I mean, you are Mr. Okay. Free Fishing. I don't know if you ever had a license, and nobody ever gave you one, but
no.
On June the 7th at Herb Parsons Lake, we're going to have a Bill Dance Youth Fishing Rodeo. And Bill Dance, of course, that Herb Parsons is a Bill Dance signature lake, and Andy's already talked about how that lake is looking and what it means, but I know Bobby's going to be there. I wished I could be there, but I have a prior commitment. You wouldn't think at middle age for a 164-year-old man I wouldn't have any commitments, much less anything prior. Most of them are dead, but I do have something going on that day, Bobby. But let's talk about this event. This is going to be a special day, right?
It is. It's we're trying to highlight. Of course, Herb Parsons Lake is one of the, as you mentioned, one of the Bill Dance signature lakes, and it's one of about 14 right now signature lakes across the state that we've already launched, but it's a work in progress, so it's not 100% ready yet. Neither is Herb Parsons.
But you'll have kids of what ages? We'll be talking about ages here,
Well, up to 16.
Okay, up to 16, folks. Right. And registration, you'll be able to register that day, or do they have to do in advance, Bobby?
That day.
Okay, you can register that day, that morning, and I'm assuming the fishing's usually 2.5 hours or 2 hours or whatever it might be.
It is. We're saying 8 to 11, so
8 to 11.
About 3 hours, I guess.
And you have a chance to rub shoulders with somebody named Dance, I think.
That's right. Yes.
Because me and Bill, of course, Junior Fishing Rodeos, Gene Smith will verify this. We may hold the record for the most ever been to. Because of my years with the Commercial Appeal, and then years doing this radio show for 25 years. The TWRA jumped in after the Commercial Appeal, dropped the old Mid-South Junior Fishing Rodeo. And Andy, you know those days. Guy, you know those days too when we had the Junior Fishing Rodeo.
3 days.
Yeah, 3 days sometimes. Well, that's what Henry had. Henry had 1,500 kids. I think 1,200 were his. I don't know. It was amazing to do a 3-day fishing rodeo with 1,500 kids. Well, of course, when I became outdoor editor, only the fourth in 100 years at the Commercial Appeal, one of the first things I did, hey, TWRA, we're going to cut this thing down, okay?
Yeah.
And we did. But how many kids were started with a youth fishing rodeo? And I know, Bobby, this is one of those chances for parents, adults, anybody to get somebody involved in fishing. Right, Bobby?
Sure. That's right. Exactly. It's a great jump start for kids who have never been fishing, or maybe who don't get to fish that much.
Yeah.
It's we a lot of times, a lot of places we stock it with fish like catfish to increase their chances of catching a fish, so they'll get excited and not go to an empty pond somewhere where there's no fish.
That's right.
And out Herb Parsons has been stocked in the lake with fish, and then of course the little pond that was created that will be part of this too will be stocked. It hasn't been stocked yet, but will be.
Okay, and again we're talking to Bobby Wilson. So how many years were you with the TWRA, Bobby?
Almost 43.
Almost 43. And how long did you have that license plate that I always talked about?
Fish head.
Fish head. There it was. There it was. I kept.
Yeah, I had it for a long time. Maybe 25 or 30
I think
years.
you did. And I thought it was mud head for a long time, but it was fish head. But so talk about your roots here, Bobby. We got you a chance to talk to you here a little bit, and
sure.
I know you cut your teeth, so to speak. In Shelby County, and particularly talk about Glen Springs. That's really that place really stood out to me.
It did. It's a beautiful lake. It was a great project. One of the first ones I started working on when I became a fisheries biologist, and we were able to build it.
Yeah,
we were going to build 3 in West Tennessee.
I remember.
One was Tipton County, Fayette County, maybe Haywood County, and then the money dried up.
Yes.
And so we ended up with just one, and that was the one, of course, in Tipton County, Glen Springs Lake near Drummond's.
Yeah.
And which is a beautiful lake, but yeah, it was it's a great lake. It's one of probably I think 9 now that we have in West Tennessee, including the Lake Halford now, which is Carroll County 1,000-acre lake.
That's right.
Call it.
But
Locals still call
the
it.
terrain for Glen Springs is so. I mean, it just fits right in with the undulations and all these different kind of things. And I know when we walked in there, man, I must have been 200 feet down. I felt I was in a mine shaft, because of the rolling hills and that you got out there.
Yeah, it's most people who aren't familiar with that part of the state don't realize the high hills that are there all up and down the river all the way up to.
I think that's
Lake.
A lot to do with Reelfoot Lake and the earthquake, I think, is part of that down through there all the way up. But the terrain itself and Glen Springs was such a remote area.
Mm-hmm.
There were people said, I can't even get there from there. But once you got there, the beauty of itself, particularly, I'm not saying any other time of the year, but I know, David Beal, you over there, you like these kind of, and I can't remember how big Glen Springs is. It's not jumping.
It's 325 acres or 350. I don't remember.
Wasn't there challenges on building that thing, though, Bobby? I mean, weren't there some challenges as far as trying to lay it out?
Well, the biggest challenge was some of the landowners. Most of the landowners,
right?
Yeah,
I met a couple of those.
Yeah, I think
most of them were okay with it. They were excited about it, but there were at least one or two that
didn't want the traffic.
They did, but they ended up selling the property. It was not it wasn't an eminent domain or condemnation or anything like that. But yeah.
Well, so talk about Herb Parsons, the evolution of Herb Parsons.
Well, it's the lake itself or the name of the lake?
The lake itself, because we all know the shootingest gentleman is Herb Parsons, and I've had the privilege of meeting his 2 sons and things.
Okay.
And hey, folks, you can still go to Somerville and go into Herb Parsons' house. I mean, it's still there as far as I know, right off 64, if I'm not mistaken. Andy, you know his house?
Yeah, it's just south of 64.
Yeah, just south
of couple miles.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking about the lake itself.
Yeah, it's a beautiful lake too. It's a set with the big, tall, very mature oak trees and trees all around it.
Yeah,
and it's just very scenic, very, I guess, almost park-like.
Yeah, once you find it, it's pretty nice once you find it. But I think it's easier to find than Glen Springs sometimes. I mean,
right.
I'm still trying to find Forest Hill Golf Course, and I played there. But they're hard to find. But Herb Parsons going out Macon Road, folks.
Right, and I don't know what all Andy's covered, but there's going to be a new concessionaire building with public restrooms and parking lot, and
how about that, Andy?
The boat ramp has already been built. It's huge. They're going to build the picnic pavilion out there before too long if they hadn't already started on it, and it's going to be a really jewel for Tennessee and for the Bill Dance Signature Lakes. And the fishing has gotten better, too. TWA has done a great job of stocking forage fish like threadfin shad and golden shiners to try to get the bass bigger. They've stocked some copper-nosed bluegill in there. They've set some regulations in there to make sure that the fish are growing correctly, and added some fish structure at the bottom of the lake, habitat, artificial structure and things like that. So they've done a great job of trying to make the fishing even better there. Plus the stocking of the catfish and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's still a family fishing lake.
And it'll be stocked for this event, and you can go to tnwildlife.org. Of course, the TWRA has been a sponsor of Outdoors with Larry Ray for a long, long time. And, Andy, I know that's a special lake to you. I mean, you've taken Hutch out there, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. We go out there quite a bit, and believe it or not, the crowds are not there. Several years ago, before we dropped the lake down and did a lot of maintenance and operations and put in a lot of structure and stuff, a couple of years before that, there was people everywhere. It looked like a sale at Walmart.
Yeah.
So it's been closed long enough now that I was just out there the other day getting my patrol boat, and there was one boat.
Well,
we won't fishing off the banks. I mean, it's very underused.
We want
the fishing's phenomenal.
We want people out there on June the 7th again. That date, June the 7th. The Beal Dance Youth Fishing Rodeo on June the 7th, the Hurt Parsons Lake. Hey, Bobby Wilson, thank you, buddy. Always great to talk to you. We could do a whole show together talking about stuff, but you know some things I don't want people to know. All right, so appreciate
it. Thank you, Larry. It's been my pleasure.
All right, Bobby. Thank you. Tell everybody hello for me, all right?
All right, take care, Bobby.
All right, let's take a break.
Bye, Andy.
All right, okay, let's take a break. Come right back. We're heading this guy's from Paris, Tennessee. But we're going to Discovery Park of America. He just lives in Paris. That's I'm going crazy here. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. Boy, has anybody had a bad time?
No, we had a good time.
And we had a good time.
Yes,
right.
sir.
Absolutely.
How about giving a round of applause? Okay,
Applause.
Yeah, you know how to do that. Yeah. Thank you, guy. Yeah, you got that in there. But we call this the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming, and we're rolling into our final segment on today's show. I said that one time, our final segment. Everybody thought I was quitting. No, we're going to go through the 25th year this year for sure, folks. And we couldn't do it without our sponsors, the TWRA, Ducks Unlimited, and B&M Poles. But what better place to close out today's show than a trip to Discovery Park of America? If you have not been to Discovery Park of America, shame on you. We were there before it opened, the Tennessee Outdoor Writers. We're going to be back there in the fall. And they always have great events, Scott Williams and all the great folks up there at Discovery Park of America in Union City. And we've got an event going on now. It's already begun for some folks. Now, you folks in Brownsville came on the radio today at 6 o'clock, and you folks in Jackson at 6:30. Now, our folks in Memphis right now at 9. It's going on, but it's one of my favorites event. It's the annual, now get this, folks, I'm having a tough time even saying it, Cardboard Boat Regatta at the Park South Lake. And we've got John Watkins on with us right now. He is the grounds director at Discovery Park of America in Union City. And, John, I want you to know that you are my third guest from Paris on today's show. I had no idea. People think I've got relatives there. Well, maybe I do.
We are well represented.
You sure are. I've already had Keith Hickman, the golf course man at Paris Landing State Park. I've had Jake Lawrence, who just won $150,000 bass fishing from Paris Landing State Park. And now I've got the man to talk about the Cardboard Boat Regatta. So I know Johnny.
Wide world of sports here.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get $150,000 here, but
no.
Talk about it, John, because this is what is this the 12th year for this?
This is the 12th. It just flies by all the time, but this is evidently the 12th year. So this is getting bigger and better.
And it's a fun event. So talk about what is it about this event that makes people want to go?
It's part science, it's part art. It's a little bit of everything, and it takes some teamwork to get out there and to make a boat out of cardboard and duct tape, and that's truly all it is. So
it's just cardboard and duct tape. I mean,
that's it. You can paint it up, and a lot of people will paint them into different colors and things, and that helps seal the cardboard a little bit. But other than that, that's your two basic ingredients.
And they do float, right? I mean,
they do float. I always have people ask me, and I still do to this day, is, are they building little tiny boats, little models? I said, oh, no, there's actual people get in them and float around the lake. So.
How many people can get in one cardboard box? What is the limit here?
I get that question a lot, too. I have, you can go anywhere from one person. Most people have 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I remember when I did this a long time ago when I was down in Georgia.
Yes.
We had, at one point, we had 12 people in a boat.
In a cardboard boat.
In a cardboard boat. And we did not sink, believe it or not.
Did not sink. So does what do they do? So once they get in, they make it, you've got equipment to help them make it, in fact. But they get in the water and they just paddle around in the South Lake. Is that the way it works?
We have a little course set up.
Oh, a course set up. It's a regatta. I forgot it's a regatta.
Yes, you have to go out to a little buoy and go around that, and then make it back to the bank, hopefully in one piece, and see who comes in first and second. And
how do you keep stepping through it?
Not everybody does make it.
Not everybody does make it when it comes down to it. Again, we're talking to John Watkins. He is the grounds director of Discovery Park of America in Union City, and John lives in Paris, but he oversees the maintenance and development of the museum and Heritage Park. And then they threw you in as the boat regatta manager. I don't know. Now, you said that doesn't really fit in with the maintenance and development of the museum, but undoubtedly you've done it before.
Not usually, but I'd had some experience. I did this a long time when I was living in Georgia and before we moved back to Paris.
Yeah.
And we were looking for different events a few years, right after we opened. I said, you know what, this would just be perfect. We've got the place to do it. And
you talked Scott into doing this. I mean, you talked him.
This started before Scott was here.
Even started before Scott. Yeah, okay.
He tells me that this is still one of his favorite events too. It's just fun to get out there and watch families and all these school groups.
I've seen it once. I thought I was going to bust my ribs. I got so tickled out there because I don't know how many.
Well, we should have gotten in touch with you earlier and had you build a boat this year.
No, I don't know. My boat would not. That would be bad. I don't know how deep's that water too. I mean, can I wear my flippers? I mean,
yeah, you can. Yeah. The key now, Larry, is not to get wet.
The key is not to get wet. Well, I know that. So how many do you think you might have Saturday morning?
It varies a good bit. We've had a lot of pre-registration. We'll have a lot of on-site registration. So it's a lot of time people, and I get this, people start building the boat and they say, well, I don't know if I'm going to finish this in time, if I'm going to be able to be in the race. So they wait to the very last minute and then they'll show up. And but it'll be anywhere from, I'm hoping we got, not everybody's checked in, but we'll have anywhere from 20 to 30, I hope, by the time it's all said and done.
Well, it looks like bumper boats. I just wondered if it's like that at the carnival. They running into each other, got paddles?
They get a little competitive out there.
Oh, they do get competitive.
Some of these school groups that go against each other, they
got school groups.
They're friends.
Yeah, and they get them all painted up with dragons and all these different kind of things.
It's amazing how
I've seen
how much art they get in on these.
It's something to watch.
Wow.
So this morning, folks, I know it's almost 10:15 in Memphis. You've blown it, but I know you folks earlier in Jackson and Brownsville. It's something to see, and I know you can go to the Discovery Park of America website. I know that they'll have a lot of great photographs and things along that, but there's so much that goes on at Discovery Park of America. And John, I appreciate you taking time to be with us, and it's one of my favorite events. But just tell Scott that hope everybody's got on all their paraphernalia, their flippers, and their snorkels. Yeah, those snorkels.
We'll be dressed up. You'll see me with my Commodore's hat on.
Oh, the Commodore. All right. Well, I might be there next year for sure, just to be your assistant. Okay. So
we'll make you the Admiral.
Oh, the Admiral. I've always wanted to be Admiral Benbow. That's what to me is. Hey, John, thank you, buddy. Tell everybody hello for us. Okay.
Fantastic.
Thank you, buddy. All right, John.
Thank you,
John Watkins. All right. I thought that would be kind of lighthearted.
Oh yeah, they have a commercial on TV.
I want a team from Outdoors of Larry Ray.
There you go.
In the cardboard race next year.
Got it.
You are the captain.
All right.
Andy Tweed, short timer, needs something to do, is the captain. Our PR man is Guy Trebo. He will make the design. Our captain, he is the captain. You're a lieutenant.
First mate.
First mate. That's good.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, and then me and Gene, you'll be saluting us.
That's right.
Morning.
That's right.
All right.
We'll be throwing a rope to him.
I was kind of wondering, a cardboard boat for us.
I want to see y'all three. Y'all
it's going to be a toilet tissue box.
Yeah, I want to be.
I don't know. Do you think it'll hold me and Andy?
I don't know.
It's going to be a
It's
box.
going to take a lot of cardboard and a lot of glue.
It's a cardboard box where a car came in.
A lot of horses involved in that. Okay, let's.
But
Let me tell you about next week before we close out here.
Let me tell you something I did yesterday.
What'd you do yesterday?
I went to Millington Intermediate School. We had a career day.
Millington what?
Intermediate.
Oh, I thought the M&M. I didn't know.
Intermediate school.
All right, you went to Millington Intermediate School.
Yeah, and the kids all come through, look at my bone box and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And when the third graders come through, I said, "You in the third grade?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, the third grade was the best 3 years of my life." He said, "What? You was in the third grade 3 years?"
They believed you.
Kids are easy.
Yeah, now they're saying, what'd you do at school? I met a guy that's in the third grade for 3 years, and he's 80-something years old still. Let me tell you about next week real quick. We're going to have the saxophone guy in the studio. Ricky Hoot Hazelgrove will be in talking turkey hunting next week with his saxophone. We'll tell him. Harold Grader, he's the Assistant Associate Director of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, is going to come in, and they're going to recognize Ron Wong in an event in August at TPC Southwind, guy. And then Kent Driscoll, the Director of B&M Poles Pro Staff, he's going to talk to us next week about a new foundation to get more women involved in fishing. And it's going to be named in Ron, which I thought was very appropriate. Okay? You know, so Ron was getting women involved in fishing, and so they're going to name it. It's going to be a big deal from all across the United States, the Ron Wong Foundation. So we'll talk to him next week. I'm not sure who's the co-host. They may not be here yet. I don't know. But closing thoughts. Andy Tweed, 18 days.
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Well, Andy, we want to congratulate you because the next time we talk to you, you will no longer be carrying. Well, you may be carrying, I don't know. But you'll no longer be wearing that uniform.
You got it. You got it. I'll be in street clothes from now on out.
A straight jacket, more likely than now. That's right. David,
yes.
Look forward to working with you, buddy. Second Saturday of each month, talking fishing. Thank you for accepting that.
Yes.
And we'll continue our D&D, but we're going to utilize more other things, talking fishing next month.
Sweet.
Guy Trebo, get those information.
Yes, sir.
LarryRay.com.
Ow.
LarryRay.com. He's going to be a world traveler here for long. Thank you, Guy.
You're welcome, Larry.
For being here. And then my man here, couldn't have done it without you, buddy.
Enjoy.
Gene
Always
Smith
do.
for all these years, anchoring Outdoors of Larry Ray, and back in the days in the dungeon at Channel 5. And then, of course, the young lady standing right there, she gives up her chair and her headphones and everything, and she keeps it going. And,
Yes, she does.
Yes, we appreciate you. It ain't easy with this group. That's obvious. Everybody thinks
I know
something's
that's
going
right.
on. Yeah. Anyway, this is Larry Ray reminding you, as I do each and every week, it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. What else, guys? God bless the USA.